Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm coming at you live for my live review of tonight's episode of SmackDown Live. The May 7th, 2019 edition of SmackDown Live that took place in Louisville, Kentucky, the KFC Yum Center, or whatever it's called, one of the places, whatever it's called. But it's the second to last episode of SmackDown Live before Money in the Bank. Obviously, I sound a little more enthused, but at the same time, I'm still not that enthused. SmackDown Live night was all right. Well, I kind of gave it a little more of a generous grade. I thought it was more of a decent show that wasn't bad to sit through. It was one of those shows to me that, I watched and, I'd watch one time, but I wouldn't really go back and watch it again. But I still was a little generous and gave it, the grade I gave it because I feel I could appreciate the matches they at least attempted to put on. But again, the thing that's just weighing me down big time is this whole wild card rule. The whole story behind this wild card rule, again, to me, just makes absolutely no sense at all to me. Like, I thought for Vince, again, last night it just looked like Vince McMahon was trying to, stop things from getting out of control. And then rather than just, growing a pair and setting things under control, he basically just let things to continue spin out of control. The past two nights, it's really showing the WWE is just showing desperation for viewers. And it's making the brand split not look like it's even in full effect anymore. And it's just making a lot of things just not make any sense at all whatsoever. I can appreciate, though, the show SmackDown tonight, though, because compared to Raw to me last night, had three segments that are already early candidates for me being worst segment of the year. And that's why it's one of my polls tonight for fun. I have 4 polls tonight on for SmackDown Live. And here's the thing. This is kind of something I did want when the brand split first came back. Competition between the brands. Okay. But you gotta have it make sense. This just does not make sense to me, what's going on right now with this whole wild card rule. Like, I thought Vince said, superstars had to be, invited over to SmackDown Live or invited over to Raw for one night, not just showing up. Like, why would you want to let just some random person show up and just do whatever the heck they want with the show? Like, it's shown that even the character Vince does not care, and it's making him look like even more delusional. Like, to get to the point last time, I was literally yelling at Vince just to shut up on TV. I was telling him to shut up. So that's what kind of really impacted my grade and how I went to the show. Because actually, I didn't catch the first hour live. The first hour I missed because I was actually out with a little, reunion of some club celebrating its 25th anniversary at my old high school. So I was out doing that and having fun. I only watched the second hour, all the way. The first hour, I just watched the highlights. I can say it wasn't a bad show tonight. Tonight was not bad. It wasn't intelligent insulting, and it wasn't full of Vince toilet humor. Heck, it actually made me, take a breath of fresh air with the Usos being out there, because, again, the past 2 weeks, they've been giving the Usos terrible material to work with, just making them not cool anymore, of course, with that, Usi Hot segment last night. Oh, dear God, that was... But there still was some stuff on this show that bugged me. But I was a little generous to give it, a solid grade. I had a grade I was stuck in mind, but I'm like, I'll give this more of like a solid grade because I can't appreciate like they did try to do some stuff on this show. The biggest thing that just weighing me down again is just this wild card rule. It does not make sense, and it just spells desperation. Like, again, if you want to create competition between brands, if you want people to come over from Raw to SmackDown, have a story behind it. Don't just say, "Oh, come over wherever you want." Then what's the point of the brand split then? I mean, again, I'm for the brand split because it gives more people opportunities. But if you're going to be having superstars on both shows, then why have the brand split to begin with, or why have 2 shows to begin with? Let's get into this review. Let's first check the live chat, see what we got here. What's up, Happy Channel, Crazy Cool Guy? Good to have you live. It was better than Raw. Get ready for the Vince stream. If you guys had a time machine, would you go to the future or the past, and where would you go? Oh boy, good question. Well, I maybe I, w- I right. I mean, I like to relive moments of my past right now because right now I'm not sure where my future is going with some things in my life right now. Not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm still trying to find some answers to certain things. So maybe I say the past. And heck, if we're talking about wrestling content, go back to my WrestleMania trip because it was the last time I think I've really enjoyed wrestling, except for the Raw after Mania that I attended live. But I'd say we'll go back to WrestleMania. Thank you for the question there. Um, um, let's see here. AJ's back on SmackDown. That made my night. True, but again, why did he have to come over if he's on Raw? But I don't know. Again, AJ's been okay on Raw so far, I gotta say. But it's fine to see him appear on SmackDown, but still didn't quite make sense. But guess what state I'm in the dead center of the U.S. Oklahoma. And I would laugh if the Usos and AJ won the SmackDown Championship and stayed on SmackDown. I mean, we'll get to that, of course. Later on the show. Thank you for your comments in the live chat, guys. And also, I'll reveal the 4 polls I have on Twitter right now to participate in if you want to. The 4 polls are, what grade would you give SmackDown Live, which has 18 votes on it so far. Thank you, guys. 12 votes for, show did you enjoy more this week, Raw or SmackDown Live. 5 votes for, do you approve of the WWE wildcard rule, which is, of course, yes, no question. And, of course, 17 votes on what segment on Raw was worse. And of course, the 3 choices that I thought these are my top 3 worst segments of the year so far. Vince making the wild card role, Sami Zayn being put in the dumpster, Usi Hot, or another one, right? That I may have missed that you guys also did not like. But of course, those are the Twitter polls. So excuse me. But let's get rolling here and see you guys. So the show opened up with the phenomenal Mr. The House that AJ Styles built, which is what SmackDown Live is. He came out, the first of the wild cards for tonight. He recaps, of course, what the wild card rule is. Again, I still thought it was, superstars were being invited to come over from Raw to SmackDown or SmackDown. I didn't think they just show up by themselves and whatnot. But again, it made no sense. I swore Vince said the word invite last night, but who knows what it meant. Sami Zayn, of course, came out after he knows, AJ just mentioned again what SmackDown Live means to him. And Sami says he doesn't want to be here, but I'm like, hold on, Sami, what are you doing here, man? First off, say I don't want to be here, but it's like, then why are you here? Like, if you're just going to come here and just talk trash people, what's that doing for you at this point? You literally got thrown into a dumpster last night. So how are you showing up on SmackDown? I didn't get that. So he came out basically saying his usual stuff, but he was saying how he knew that AJ would try to do this, so he needed to show up and be able to call Styles out on his toxic ego and whatnot. And of course, they had to point out that Sami was in the dumpster last night, and that he needs to take a shower. They get a take a shower chant going for Sami Zayn. And then, of course, out came Kofi and Xavier Woods. They tell Sami and AJ that they can't have a party without the New Day. Kofi hopes that AJ isn't talking about his architectural achievements again because it's an amazing catchphrase. But fact is, you don't live here anymore, AJ. This is my show now, basically. He says he knows what Kofi was doing last night. So AJ said he returned the favor and came over to SmackDown Live. And of course, Kofi says he proved last night also that his win at WrestleMania was not a fluke. So he wants to challenge Sami Zayn and AJ both kind of made their cases for wanting a championship match. And Kofi says that he wants to be a defending champion. So he will defend the title against one of them tonight. And then in the main event will be AJ Styles and Kofi Kingston and Sami Zayn in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship, which sounds like a fun match on paper. The match itself in the main event was not that bad at all, really. I thought it was a fun match for the most part. But, once again, you're having 2 random guys show up on SmackDown and get a title opportunity. Once again, I thought title opportunity was supposed to be earned. Like, not just show up somewhere and say, hey, I want an opportunity. Well, all you have to do is ask. like again, I thought that you had to earn your opportunities. Again, just the consistency is just way off here. And again, this I literally just throw that segment out in the garbage if I wanted to. Like last night's episode of Raw. But so all right, sounds fun on paper, but again, the wild card rule just doesn't make sense to me with how it is. Kevin Owens got a handicap promo saying that today is his birthday, so he didn't want to deal with this crap on his birthday. So he's going home. Good news for Kofi, but his good news ends at Money in the Bank because Owens will be winning the WWE title Money in the Bank. We had some vignette as Mustafa Ali made his entrance, searching for light in dark times. The light shows you a path, and sometimes it seems too far away. But as long as you see the light, then you must run to it. Just like Money in the Bank, where the briefcase is going to be high, as long as Ali sees it, he's fighting for an opportunity that was ripped out of his hands earlier in the year. He'll take his opportunity back at Money in the Bank. Out came Zelina Vega and Andrade Cien Almas talking about everybody's going to tune in the Money in the Bank just like they did the Kentucky Derby to see all the thoroughbreds. But here, there's only one such horse, Andrade Cien Almas. Almas gets on the mic himself and says he's going to win the ladder match for Money in the Bank. And we had Almas and Ali, have a match. It was very brief. Randy Orton just came out and, goes for an RKO on Ali, but Ali kind of starts fighting back. And then Almas tried to, get an upper hand on Orton also, but then Orton eventually, tosses, Ali up into the air and hits an RKO on him. And then Almas goes for a springboard crossbody, but he gets RKO'd as well. All right, then we got that. Then we had a recap of what happened last night with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre match last night and the attack from Shane McMahon and Elias. And then we get some random video package of Roman Reigns' career, touching on everything he's done. One, we've seen how many video packages involving his return back from his battle with leukemia and all of our highlights. It's like, what was the point of seeing this video package? We didn't need to be reminded of this stuff again. Yes, he's back. Yes, he got a win at WrestleMania. Yes, he's on SmackDown Live. It's felt kind of filler to me. I'm like, okay, we've seen this how many times? Why do we need to see it again? But then we have Shane McMahon come out, and apparently he's going to be set to crown new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Gets on the mic, calls Miz a coward for attacking him with a steel chair, and says he finds it lamentable to deplore, and for Kentucky, disgusting. Miz will get the job done Money in the Bank, though, because it's going to be just like what happened at WrestleMania. But when it comes to the tag titles, he talks about how last week the Hardy Boys had to relinquish the titles because of Jeff Hardy's injury. And he says, I kept trying to think to myself, who would be worthy of being tag champs? He scouted the roster until he found the right people. He stared right in the face. And those worthy people to him are Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. So they come out, I'm like, all right. I mean, again, there's pretty much nobody in the SmackDown tag team division now. I was fortunate reminded of one other team I forgot there. Honestly, with who they'll be feeling for the SmackDown tag titles, I'm like, all right, sure, why not? So even though once again outside of them, these two teams, who else is there really going to be that can get behind? Because again, there's no teams in the SmackDown tag team division all of a sudden. So Bryan and Rowan come out, but then out come the Usos. I was like, whoa, that's right. Whoa, that's right. Whoa. So they came out, part of the wild card rule, and said that their cousin Roman Reigns told them they can slide through his yard whenever they like. But also, they've got the wild card rules. So, hey, let's welcome them all to the Uso Penitentiary. Asked if Shane's really just going to hand the titles away after themselves, New Day, The Bar, and even Shane and The Miz themselves earned those tag titles. Well, they did kind of make a little bit of a oops, I bumped it by my laptop. A little bit of a botch. They're saying that that apparently that the Miz and Shane beat them. No, they didn't beat them. They beat the Bar to win the SmackDown tag titles at the Royal Rumble. But so knowing the value of the titles, they're gonna just hand them over to, they called them SpongeBob and Patrick and Beavis and Butthead. But Shane's like, you know what? Fine. I'll enjoy the match, and I'm gonna book this right now with the Usos and Brian Rowan. The winners are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I'm like, you're literally just handing, a team that's not even on your brand once again another title match. Before the match, we got a handicap promo from Finn in Ireland. He pledges to win Money in the Bank and cash in and become a double champ, since he's both the IC champion and he hopes to be the WWE champion someday. So we have Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan taking on the Usos. A fun back and forth match. I thought it was fun. There was a moment, of course, towards the end where I thought that the Usos were going to win. And they kept seeming to get the upper hand on Daniel Bryan with the super kicks. They did hit one Uso splash, but Rowan kicks out of it. There was a stereo suicide dive that Rowan caught. Bryan hit his flying knee and took the other Uso out. Rowan then throws the Uso he had into the barricade and back inside. But then there's a couple super kicks thrown in there as well. But then Rowan eventually blocked, grabbed Jey Uso, and hit him with the Iron Claw to give Bryan and Rowan the SmackDown tag titles. So I'm like, all right, I'm fine with it. Again, there's just no really established teams on the SmackDown tag team roster anyways. So it's like a consolation prize just for something that, for Bryan and Rowan to do now that Bryan's on in the title picture. I guess, who knows? So they're new tag team champions, which again, I would have found it stupid if they would have given them to a team that's on Raw. If they were getting the SmackDown tag titles to the Usos, then what was the point of really, having two tag titles of both your tag champions were on the same brand? So I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird situation. Again, the tag team division on SmackDown is not looking too good right now because there's basically nobody there. But I guess see what happens with Bryan and Rowan as tag champions. I've actually been all right with them as like a pairing so far, since Rowan randomly returned at Royal Rumble and paired up with Daniel Bryan. First, I'm like, why Eric Rowan? But I feel like it's kind of working in some ways, so I'm kind of accepting of it, I gotta say. We had a replay of the Firefly Funhouse. And then after that, we had Shane McMahon wanting to make an announcement about the Money in the Bank ladder matches. He's about to get to it when then The Miz comes out of nowhere playing the wild card rule, the fourth wild card of the night, and attacks Shane from behind. He gets a good hand on Shane until the B team come out and make the saves. I guess the B team is going to be a long-term heel team now. Again, who knows? They beat, of course, the B team used to be the Miz Taraj. They took out their former leader. Miz fights him off, but when Miz had his back to the stage, Shane came right back out with a steel chair and beat him down. Bryan and Rowan were backstage walking. Bryan chatting excitedly about the titles when they run to Heavy Machinery, who coldly congratulated him. So again, I guess we're having a feud with Heavy Machinery and Bryan and Rowan for the tag titles. Fine with me. Again, Heavy Machinery has won, a good amount of matches. Well, a decent amount of matches. Just matches come to the main roster. I think they've had decent momentum so far. So yeah, why not give them a time? Forgot they were on SmackDown until tonight, which is a shame. But I want to talk a little bit, of course, about the Shane and Miz segment. Because one, I was fine with it, but we got the same thing somewhat last night. And two, again, is this wild card rule okay, you can show up whenever you want, or how are they gonna, if like more people try to crash, Raw or SmackDown, then what do you do? Have someone stay at security, making sure not the whole roster go. What's stopping the whole entire roster from Raw to come over to SmackDown? And the other thing too is if this is a invitation thing, then why would they invite over someone who is feuding with one of the authority figures? Miz is looking to get any hand he can on Shane McMahon right now. And I didn't get why they would allow him to come over to SmackDown as a wild card, if you know what I mean. So that was weird, but it was what it was. Let's check the live chat before we get to the second half. Close, but no. Oh, one of the Dakotas. I'd say maybe. Happy Channel Crazy Cool Guy. No, I do not like the wild card. Roll Tower says, "Why do you do this so late? I'm about to fall asleep with it pouring outside and Beethoven in my head. No offense, doesn't help that you have like the most monotone voice of all existence." Oh, I'm sorry then. They should have him beat the Undertaker. What are you talking about? I'm not sure what you mean there, but all right, whatever. You don't like my voice, and don't come back. Anyways, moving on. It was advertised first as a 6-woman tag team match with Bayley, Carmella, and Ember Moon taking on Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Charlotte Flair. Well, Charlotte and Bayley didn't show up tonight. I don't know why. Okay, so it's really just a 2-on-2 women's tag match between 3 of the 4 competitors of the Money in the Bank ladder match, and Sonya Deville. Although they made a goof, well, Tom Phillips botched and said Mandy and Sonya and Mandy Deville, they botched that. So they had this match, and Mandy and Sonya win. Well, Fire and Desire win after it went clean after an Angel's Wings that Mandy hit on Ember. All right, I mean, I guess it was what it was. And afterwards, Paige came out with her team of Asuka and Kairi Sane. Paige congratulated her former Absolution teammates on their win and said that I used to represent you guys when, of course, you guys meant absolutely nothing, which they really are nothing now. I mean, they're not great, Mandy and Sonya, but they've gotten better. I'll give them credit. She traded way up and brought in a new team. So they're going to rip through this tag team division starting next week with the 2 of them. And I'm like, okay, but question is, what tag team division? There's no women's tag team division. There's barely any women's tag teams existence. They've either broken them up through a superstar shakeup or, injuries. Like, there isn't anyone else right now. Like, what tag team division? But I kind of wish they would have at least, they probably would have a match anyway, but I kind of wish they would have waited till Kairi and Asuka won the tag titles. That way, Mandy and Sonya can have a feud with them, like a long-term feud with the tag titles with them. But again, there's really, nothing meant to do. But yeah, so whatever. So we'll see what that happens down the line. So afterwards, we have an interview with Matt Hardy backstage, talking about the heartbreaking news about Jeff Hardy having to vacate the titles. Well, him and Jeff having to vacate the titles last week on SmackDown. His surgery, though, went successful, and he'll be back better than ever, of course, when the time comes. That's going to be for another 6 to 9 months. R-Truth rolls up to tell him something, but forgets it first. And then Matt says, does this have to do with Lars? And she's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. He didn't want to remember. But Lars isn't like anyone he's ever faced. But when his hands are like death traps, if we get caught, they're going to get got. Of course, reminds me of from 2011 R-Truth. Heel R-Truth, that was actually pretty entertaining. But, of course, his violation of the wellness policy ruined that. And then Hardy's like, yeah, Lars is a true monster. But then, speaking of the devil, behind them was the freak himself, Lars Sullivan, who Truth and Matt tried to beat him down. But, Lars took it as was like no selling. Like those punches were nothing. He threw Matt into a bathroom and then he hit a Liger bomb. I think is what they're calling that power bomb move he does now on Truth through the table. So I guess Sullivan's now not the Lars Sullivan, the Braun Strowman of SmackDown. Like he's just gonna no sell everybody, destroy things, and then probably get his momentum cut by someone else. I don't know. Who knows who it could be? Maybe Roman Reigns. I don't know. But so we'll see what happens. He hasn't really had an actual match. He's come out about just beating down random people again. He randomly showed up on Raw last night just to beat down No Way Jose and the conga line. Like in all seriousness, how would you know No Way Jose in the conga line? Well, then again, unless if you were wise and saw the script and whatnot. But I don't know, just like, why would you show up on Raw just to beat up a jobber? Why wouldn't you try to, interrupt like a bigger match like Roman and Drew or something? I don't know. Who knows? The show's not supposed to make sense though, right, guys? But we have another promo with Aleister Black talking about dealing with the sins of the mother and father and marks left on us and left by us. He's both our wrath and our savior. He has to apologize to his opponents for his overcompensatory need to prevail at their expense, because they're the embodiment of the sins of which he speaks. Now that he reveals this part of himself, he must ask for forgiveness from his own sins that he'll seek absolution for in form of victory that he'll take from you. So again, I'm not sure what exactly, which direction Aleister's going with these promos again. I don't know. When he's saying these promos, I got first is maybe there's set up a few with him and Bray Wyatt or something like that, since they're kind of saying similar things with Bray Wyatt being in the Firefly Funhouse and the stuff he's saying there about being forgiven and whatnot. So I don't know if they're going to either turn Bray Wyatt heel again or make Aleister Black a heel or something. I'm not sure what's going on here with these Aleister Black promos, but hopefully he'll be back in the ring soon, and we'll see what happens. Then we have our main event, AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston versus Sami Zayn in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Not a bad match. Xavier Woods was out there in Kofi's corner, of course. But, of course, even though he said he was going to be away, Kevin Owens came out and attacked Xavier Woods. He was basically out there trying to help. I can't remember what happened with AJ Styles. Well, AJ seemed to have Kofi put AJ in the corner. Styles stuck a Pele kick out. Kofi got caught for the Trouble in Paradise and knocked AJ off the apron. It seemed to when AJ was done. But most of the last few minutes of the match, Kevin Owens came out and attacked Xavier Woods, even though he said he wasn't sticking around because he didn't want to be around for his birthday. He attacked Xavier Woods. Sami Zayn hit a series of blue thunder bombs on Kofi Kingston. It was basically Kevin Owens trying to help Sami Zayn win the championship. But Kofi kicked out of all the blue thunder bombs, shifting gears. Sami went for the haluva kick, but then Kofi countered the Trouble in Paradise to get the victory and to seal the deal and retain the WWE Championship. Afterwards, he's being interviewed and says that Owens is not in his head, and at Money in the Bank, he will have hell to pay. So, again, not a bad match. I can at least, be happy with that. Yes, they've given Kofi a couple championship opportunities since WrestleMania to defend the title, and he's retained them. So at least they're not making him look like his win was a fluke, which, of course, I'm pretty sure if he was on Raw, they would make his win look like a fluke and not have him, defend it again until the pay-per-view. So I can respect they did that. But again, it's still the fact that it's against two guys that how did they earn this opportunity? There are two guys on Raw just showed up. Again, AJ Styles, yeah, he's AJ Styles. He earned a Universal title opportunity, but what did he earn to fight for a title on SmackDown? And Sami Zayn lost his first match back, and he's been just talking, not wrestling, and was thrown to a freaking dumpster. I still get how he made it for tonight's show or SmackDown, but who knows? It was fresh. It was different. It was what it was. And that's the end of this show. Let's check the polls on Twitter, see what we got here. So we have 18 votes for what grade would you SmackDown Live. 18 votes again. 44% said A, 39% said B, 6% said C, and 11% said D or lower. What shows your worst week, Raw or SmackDown? 12 votes, 42% said Raw, 58% said SmackDown. Do you approve of the WWE wildcard rule? It's yes, 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 or no, no, no. 5 votes, 60% say yes, 40% say no, and then 17 votes for what segment was worse this week. 41% say Vince making the wild card rule, 12% say Sammy put into the dumpster, 47% say Usi hot, and no one said other or whatnot. So I'm going to give SmackDown Live a B-, like an 8%. The wrestling matches weren't bad. Storytelling could have been a little bit better. Again, it's just the freaking Wild card rule again. It just doesn't make any sense. That's just dragging me down and out of this. SmackDown I thought was better than Raw. Again, with how much it doesn't make sense right now, I'm not approving the wild card rule. And I gotta say, maybe Uzi Hot was the worst. Even though Vince making the wild card rule made him look stupid in general, I thought as well. Live chat, AJ should stay on SmackDown and Roman should go to Raw, maybe. And also we got Chill Family saying, hello, I'm new WWE fan here also. Thank you for joining me live as well. And with that, guys, I want to check out here again. Been a mad week for wrestling once again, unfortunately. Not really too excited for Money in the Bank now, I'll be honest to say, but, I'll still check it out. I'll still, review it, do previews, do predictions next week, of course. Of course, tonight, I'm hoping I'm going to be doing my 205 Live review. I definitely will do a turn alert for the B team. I think they're officially heels because they did attack The Miz again. They're heels over a second week in a row. So I guess I'll, do a turn alert maybe either today or tomorrow. But I'll definitely try to do my 205 Live review before going to bed. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. And other odds come on this channel, guys. So once again, guys, we'll grade you SmackDown Live for this week. Your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure, as always, to click my like and subscribe for content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, at TheMayor93. And, guys, I will see you guys all later on for my live review of 205 Live. So until then, guys, I'm checking out of here. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody.